Well, hello, my friends. I hope you've had a fantastic week and have awesome plans for your weekend. All right, August is here, and you might have been hearing some things about the changes in real estate that are coming, and technically they go into effect this month on August 17th. And there's a lot to what's happening in these changes. More importantly, there's a lot of misunderstanding of what's happening with these changes. So over the next few episodes, we're gonna go over piece by piece what these changes are and what they mean to you as both a buyer and as a seller. So today we're gonna talk about what's happening with changes for the buyer. So I think the biggest change that we're gonna talk about this week is the fact that starting August 17th, when you do want to see a property, you will need to sign a buyer-broker agreement for representation in order to see any home out there. Now, in the past, you could check out any house and call any agent, willy-nilly here and there, and just go see a house. And maybe never talk to that agent again, and there would be no paperwork signed or anything of that nature. That has changed, and it's really in your best interest because now you'll be able to select and have the very best in representation for you in seeing a home. Buyer-broker agreements, which is what we're talking about, have been around for years, and agents have used them in the past. But the difference is they've been optional, and not many people did use them. Now they will be required for every home that you want to see. Now, there's various different ways to go about those agreements. They can be open-ended, so it's not exclusive with one agent. And there's limitations on how much time you can have on a buyer representation agreement, which is 3 months. So there's various ways to do it so that you don't have to feel completely locked in. But what will happen is you'll have an agreement on who you would work with on specific homes that you're seeing. So the beautiful thing about this is that it's really important to find great representation, and that's what's going to happen. You'll be able to have the very best negotiating for you, because on that buyer-broker agreement will actually be the commission that you agree to pay the buyer-broker for showing you, not really showing you, but for helping you buy the house should you decide to purchase it. That's the biggest difference, because in the past, the buyer's agent commission was paid actually out of the listing agent commission. The listing agent would share their commission, a portion of it, with the buyer's agent during the course of the sale at closing. So they were paid by the listing side. They're decoupling that so that these two commissions are now separate, and payment is to come from the buyer for the buyer's agent commission. Now, a lot of buyers, understandably, are a little bit flipped out about this because they're trying to just come up with funds for their closing costs and their down payment, and now they're having to come up with funds to pay and cover a buyer's agent commission. I get it. This is where having a great agent counts so much, because what happens now when an offer is made is the offer includes a commission payment for the buyer's broker. So your buyer's agent will be negotiating directly with the seller for payment of their commission rather than having you pay it. So their job is to go out there and get that covered by the seller rather than have you be responsible for paying it. It's kind of like, think about it like health insurance, right? So you get health insurance, you go to the doctor, and you have your doctor's visit, and at the end you come out to the receptionist and she talks to you about the bill. She might say something like, okay, for today's visit it's $175. We're going to submit this to your insurance company, and from what we can tell, they're going to pay 100% or they're going to pay 80%. But you are responsible for the balance. That's what they always tell you. You have that expectation. It's pretty much the same way. Think about the buyer broker as your insurance policy. That's why you want a great buyer agent representing you. Just like you want great health insurance for the maximum coverage for your healthcare needs. That's what a great agent will do, give you great coverage for your financial needs and negotiate to have that commission covered by the seller of the property. That's probably the biggest change for the buyer, is that difference on where the commission comes from. And that's why it's very important to really sit down and talk with an agent before enlisting them to help show you homes, because it does count, and it counts for a lot at this point as well. But it's good news, because great representation is what you need when getting into a transaction and purchasing what is the biggest purchase in your life. All right, that's a lot to talk about. and you might have questions. So we'd love to get a cup of coffee and talk with you about it. Just reach out. Let us know. There's always a great strategy for any and all of this. And of course, thanks so much for stopping by. I'll see you next time. Take care.